Today is November 26, 2025. Today marks a dark stain on our national conscience. The news that two National Guardsmen from West Virginia were shot while patrolling Washington, D.C. is a horrifying realization of our worst fears. These are individuals with families, lives, and dreams who were deployed to support Homeland Security operations, and now they lie wounded in a hospital. While we wait for the full investigation into the motivations behind this attack, my heart breaks for them. I pray wholeheartedly for their recovery and for their safe return to their loved ones in West Virginia. Regardless of where we stand on the presence of ICE and CBP or the policies they enforce, the use of deadly violence to settle our political differences has no place in 21st century America. As an Asian American, this escalation of violence hits me with a specific, terrifying weight. I watch the news not just as a concerned citizen, but as someone who knows that the rhetoric fueling these fires often points a finger directly at people who look like me. The administration has recklessly fomented distrust, painting a picture of America where anyone with an Asian face is a potential threat. We are seeing a revival of the yellow peril paranoia where our Chinese and Korean neighbors are broadly painted as spies or sleeper agents for enemy states, their loyalty constantly questioned regardless of how many generations their families have been here. This broad brush of hatred does not stop with geopolitical suspicion. It digs deeper into economic anxieties, specifically targeting darker-skinned Southeast Asians. For my own Filipino community, as well as for our Vietnamese and Hmong brothers and sisters, the narrative is equally dangerous but distinct. We are being cast as the most recent wave of job stealers and welfare hogs, parasites on the system rather than contributors to it. I have personally heard these accusations in my own life, specifically the claim that Filipino nurses are taking jobs away from, quote, real Americans. This sentiment reveals a profound disconnect between rhetoric and reality. It ignores the fact that the United States has historically and actively recruited Filipino nurses to meet critical shortages that the domestic workforce could not fill. We are here filling a desperate need, not displacing workers. Yet these irresponsible assumptions persist, fueling a fire that ignores the truth in favor of hate. This hate has now found a policy to latch onto. I watch in horror as the administration moves to reclassify nursing degrees as non-professional for student loan purposes. A demotion that strips our field of its standing and restricts financial aid for advanced training. But what chills me to the bone is the reaction I see on social media. I see comments celebrating this change, cheering for the lowering of nursing status. These aren't just fiscal arguments, they are laced with vindictive, racist joy. Many seem to view this policy as a weapon to, quote, rein in Filipino nurses, operating under the insane assumption, that's wrong by the way, that we have somehow usurped a status that doesn't belong to us. They cheer for the barriers being erected against us, ignoring that these same barriers will decimate the healthcare system they rely on. It's a celebration of self-sabotage, driven by a desire to see the other put back in their place, even if it means there is no one left to care for them when they are sick. My one main thought through this is what the temperature of our political discourse is, and that it's too hot. We are bound to find ourselves in a situation where we cross a line into completely uncivilized proportions, where we are in armed war with our own people. And the change must come from the top. When leadership normalizes this xenophobia and pure, unadulterated hatred toward non-white people, they fan the flames of distrust and abomination. They create an environment where violence feels like a logical conclusion to some and a desperate necessity of defense to others. All of us must do what we can to prevent this from happening. But we cannot ignore that the words spoken from the highest offices in the land have put real lives, including mine and those of my community, in grave danger.